Back in the game and well at the top, a king of the ring and calling my spots. I'm raising the bar to crank it a notch. I'm full of mistakes, cause life is a botch. Life can get brighter and brighter. I walk through that curtain, my levels get higher and higher. Studied the best, in this generation I'm next. Super Kid Party, no doubt we just hit a suplex. Hooker by crook, survive if I let you, they stand to their feet. Sports entertainment.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Fresh out the box, stop, look and watch. Have you checked the clock? Cause life's a botch. What's going on? It's your boy, Hi-Lite Real, represented with none other than my sis. You already know, the hostess with the mostest, all day, every day, the lovely, the one and only, the superstar, Miss Ash Benny. What's up, sis?
I'm good. How you been doing this week?
Man, pretty swell, feeling good. I got something to share with you as well as the rest of the world. Derek doesn't even know this yet. He might have seen it, he might not have seen it, but y'all,
Got some scoops?
I got some scoops for Life's a Botch, y'all. Peep this. We got our first hater online, y'all. I couldn't believe it. My boy Gresh and me, we was laughing. We put him on blast last night.
No.
If you didn't check, if you ain't tuned in with us on Gresh Unleashed last night, we was going in on homie just off his name alone. But shout out to somebody by the name of Rubber Chicks with an X. Yeah. Go figure, Ash. I know your facial expression alone just tells me enough for what I need to know. This man literally commented on our latest episode and literally said these exact words, and I kid you not. He said, just what we need. He said, another unfunny Mark talking about wrestling for 2 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I said, well, just what we need. An ignorant IWC with no life adding to stats. Thank you for the comment, bro. You know what I'm saying? And all he could do was reply with an LOL because he knows he's been gotten.
Yeah, got
Nonetheless, the funny thing about it is, like me and Gresh said, and I'm gonna share this with you, Ash. It's just funny to see that because it's like it shows that we're moving on up, number one.
Yeah.
Because, hey, people are gonna, that's the beauty of the IWC. People are gonna love us, people are gonna hate us. It's cool if you don't like our personality and think we're funny. We're being ourselves unapologetically and having fun talking wrestling. That's what we
Absolutely.
do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, to your marks out there that call us marks and say we're unfunny, well, good. You still contributed. Thank
Yep.
you. We
Engagement
appreciate
is
y'all.
engagement.
Engagement. And there's nothing more than a troll out there who really likes to take the time to just laugh at himself and say, man, I'm gonna really get him and stick it to him with this one by just writing this to maybe hopefully discourage him and say, oh man, we shouldn't do this anymore. Like, no, we're still
We're still
actually
here.
living our lives and we're
Yeah.
loving it. So thank
Life
you.
goes on.
Life goes on, baby. So Botch is on you, my friend. But shout out to everybody that rocks with us, whether it is negative or positive. We appreciate y'all. And to the negative ones, just know you probably gonna get put on spot. That's just how we do. But it's all good. It's all good. Aside from that though, sis, how are you doing?
I've been good. I've been good. I had like a very productive week. I've just been
Yes.
on my fitness grind. On my fitness
I
grind. What
see
about you?
you. Progress. I've been doing well, man. So I just got a new job position. I work with Dream Touring, and we basically specialize in putting on tours and production events for independent artists that are looking to take their
Wow.
show on the road. So my job is being a sales rep to go find independent artists. So anybody listening out there that either is an independent artist or knows independent artists, come reach out to your boy. Follow me on social media. It's a little early plug, but at Highlight Life, HILITE Life. Reach out to me in the DMs, man, and let's see what you're looking like if
That's
you're serious.
sick.
Yeah, man. They've worked with a lot of
Congrats.
people. Thank you, thank you. You, it was a long time coming, man. And the beauty of this is I get to do all of this from home. So at the end of the day, it's just me selling the artist, letting you know, like, hey, if you're serious, we got these packages. Pick the one that works best for you, and let's get you on tour, baby. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we're gonna see how this turns out. But I'm excited to see the major moves, man. It's just all about come up, you know. And of course,
Nice.
shout out to TikTok, man, our TikTok game is growing, yo. Like we getting famous on the Tik. Low key, we out here making moves on TikTok. I'm
Getting a
like,
little numbers, getting a little
yeah,
numbers.
I see them numbers getting in the thousands. I'm like, okay, I see y'all
It's
showing
exciting.
up. So I'm like, yo, we really gonna be posting more TikTok videos for the people. I see with Instagram with the numbers, I gotta just do more memes because I see they react more with the memes. So y'all like the memes on Instagram, I see. So I got some little meme ideas coming to mind that I'll probably post a little later. But aside from that, all is well. We got a quite a bit of dope stuff to talk about, I say this week. We're not gonna talk Elimination Chamber. We're not going to talk No Surrender from TNA because we know both of those happened on last week. If you would like to get our thoughts and views on that, make sure you head over to the Gresh Unleashed podcast, where myself and the lovely Ash Benny made her debut, chopping it up with us and our homie Gresh uh, from Gresh Unleashed, where we basically gave our thoughts and opinions. So if you haven't already, head over to Gresh Unleashed Pod. You can listen or watch the actual post show that we did live regarding our thoughts from Elimination Chamber and No Surrender. But this week, we are here to talk the aftermath of things. So you already know how we do. If you're new to this, get ready for a ride. This is what we do. And without further ado, it's time, to see what's sizzling up in the pot, ladies and gentlemen. Not stirring. We ain't stirring the pot. We sizzling the pot to see what's cooking, ladies and gentlemen. This is the segment introductory where we talk things usually non-wrestling, but this one's gonna be kind of wrestling based on today. But any other day, we might have some non-wrestling topics if it's dominating enough in the headlines, and we'll hop in on this. So, without further ado, we got some news that broke out as of I believe it was yesterday. Well, first and foremost, actually, serious note, I almost forgot this, but I have to break this breaking news. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we lost a legend on today. Literally, as of not even, this got confirmed probably 10, 15 minutes ago. Rest in peace to Virgil, ladies and gentlemen. You may remember Virgil as the valet, the infamous valet, right hand man to Ted DiBiase. He actually came back with Ted DiBiase Jr. As well when he was kind of rekindling the $1 Million Man gimmick. You may remember him in WCW as being a part of the NWO. But Virgil, man, he was quite iconic, and he was also a legend when it came to just trolling on Twitter and social media. Like so many people called him the sauce god, or just all kind of things. But unfortunately, he did pass away. I did not see the details on what exactly the cause was, but our thoughts, hearts, and prayers go out to Virgil and his family as they process this difficult loss. So the wrestling community definitely lost one on today. So rest in peace, Virgil, and thank you for everything that you gave the wrestling business, from every convention to every moment and all that good stuff. So had to throw that out there, people, because that was kind of breaking news as of like 10, 15 minutes ago. But uh, as of yesterday's news, literally, we had news breakout that a certain New Japan Pro Wrestling sensation is making his way to WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about none other than Tama Tonga. That is right. One of the founders, the original founders of the Bullet Club. So this is very interesting because we see Carl Anderson, the Good Brothers. We
Yeah.
see that they've been on NXT as of late, and we're seeing a lot more of them now than we probably did for quite some time.
Yes.
Uh, they also have an interesting feud of some sorts going on with AJ Styles. Uh, and we also can tell that, well, the bloodline is the bloodline. So there's also that aspect of things. So
Yeah.
there's so many different possibilities on what they could do with Tama Tonga once he enters into the WWE arena. Now, to those who don't know who he's related to, he is the son of the legendary Haku. If you don't remember Haku, you should go back and do your history. Look back at WCW, or you can go back to 2001 when he re-debuted in the 2001 Royal Rumble, helping out none other than his fellow Samoan brethren and Rikishi. And they went on to be quite the tag team, the Samoan tag team, I do believe. And yeah, Haku is one of the baddest, and I do mean one of the baddest Samoan men that you never want to cross paths with. Even Triple H knew that, and I'll show y'all that in a meme later. But um, so Tama Tonga, man, again, he is the originator. He's one of, I believe it's him, AJ Styles, and Finn Balor, I believe, are the original founder. Oh, and Carl Anderson are the original founders of the Bullet Club. And so we know Switchblade being in AEW was taking the reins at one point. Who else took the reins? Gosh, who else took over for Bullet Club? Cody Rhodes was a part
Yeah,
of it
there's
at
been
one
so
point.
many iterations at this
Yeah,
point.
so many over the years, man. But he's a part of the OG version of the Bullet Club. So now that he's in the E, Ash, I want to open up the floor to ask you, what are you excited about with this? Where would you like to see Tama Tonga end up?
I feel like he's definitely big enough to where he doesn't have to necessarily be introduced through the bloodline. I feel like he could do a main roster debut doing his own thing. But
Mhm.
I mean, how awesome would it be to have him debut with the bloodline?
Ooh,
So, I mean, it's interesting, especially since we're heading into Mania season. You know that Roman loves his shenanigans, so it
true.
definitely makes it more exciting. It definitely makes it more exciting, especially since we know that Jacob Fatu is also somewhere around the ether as well. So
Mhm. Ooh,
yeah,
yeah,
it just
man,
adds more possibilities. It just adds more possibilities for the bloodline.
bruh. Like, see, this is the thing, man. I know a lot of people were talking about how the bloodline was getting stale, or like, you know, where are we going with this? But see, and I know this is gonna make Derek happy because he's hearing this somewhere. Because he was just shout out to my boy because he's actually me and Josh and even Ash, we have all gotten him back into the field of loving wrestling again, and he's been a campaign for the bloodline talking about how he wants to see Jacob Fatu. He saw some footage on Jacob Fatu, and he is like,
Oh man.
wow, this brother needs to be in the bloodline. And we're like, it's coming. He talked about Nia Jackson, how she needs to be in the bloodline. We're like, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's coming at some point too.
Yeah.
So man, Tonga, Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, if the Usos decide to get back together, or like I said, if they just keep Jimmy and let him be goofy Jimmy,
Yeah.
Paul Heyman. Goodness gracious, this bloodline would be crazy, crazy.
He'll be like, fight back, fight back to
Yeah,
Cody,
man.
fight back.
Oh
He's
my
just in the
god.
middle,
Yeah, and see
getting
that's
jumped.
now imagine that because look, hey, that's what people ain't thinking about now. We talking about finishing that story. That's just, little do you know. You say you use that's one thing I will say to you, Cody. Be careful what you wish for and what you say, my guy, because you said that you're not sitting there waiting for the bloodline to hunt you. You're hunting the bloodline. Be careful about that, brother. You do realize that's a deep rooted tree you're trying to hunt by yourself at that.
Yeah,
Be
yeah,
careful.
yeah. It's a long line. That's a long line.
Yeah, bro. That's like going into an ant hill trying to find the queen ant.
Yeah,
And you got a lot of ants you got to go through, brother. You
yeah.
be
Talking about
careful.
finish the story. It's about to turn into a book series. like, no, no, no.
Yeah, man. We don't need that. But yeah, Tama Tonga, man. But on the other hand, I'm gonna go the other way with you. Because I as much as I love that idea of the bloodline, I'm not gonna lie. Bullet Club, we've seen a lot of iterations and teases of it over the years
Mm.
now. AJ Styles did the OG, what did they call themselves? The OGBC. Yeah, that's what they called it, the OGBC.
Yeah.
And it did all right, right? And then you had Finn kind of sort of teased some things. I think him and AJ tagged or something like that, where it was kind of like,
So with Liv,
oh,
yeah, where they were all kind of like
they
they
were kind of like
joined
a
that
thing.
that one area. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, this is very interesting because if you insert him in the mix and you get the Good Brothers, you get see AJ Styles looks like he's on his lone wolf kind of thing. So obviously he'll probably do his thing. I guess Mia Yim, since she's been adopted into the club, she could be a
yeah,
part of that. Um,
yeah. First
you know what I'm
lady.
saying? That would be
I would
cool.
love that. I
Yeah.
would love that.
Yeah, she'd be like the adopted member. You'd have her as the as repping for the ladies. You'd have the Good Brothers for the tag division. Tama Tonga, whether you put him in the main event scene or you put him in the mid card scene, he gives me main event vibes. But you know,
Yeah,
we'll see. And then of course, like I said, you could if Finn separates from the Judgment Day, you got that lane where you can bring him in, or
yeah,
you know, yeah, like I said, AJ Styles is doing his lone wolf thing, so I guess can't really insert him right now. So Tama Tonga might be the guy to take the reins of this thing and catapults it. So
yeah.
I'm gonna go that route to say I'm excited to see if they do that. You
That
know
would
what I
be
mean?
dope. That would be dope.
Yeah. Either way, it's looking real good for Tama Tonga and WWE right now. There's a lot of possibilities. Knowing them and knowing Triple H's mind, no telling what we're gonna get, sis. But I'm excited.
Yeah,
So,
it
um,
should be good.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So shout out to him. But also, real quick, before we move on, we had another return as of last night on NXT, y'all.
Who's that?
Sean Spears, aka formerly known as Ty Perfect 10 Dillinger.
Yeah,
Sean Spears is in, not only is he back, but he is no longer Ty Dillinger. He is Sean Spears, his actual name. They gave him his actual name, y'all. Sis, despite the fact this was a pre-taped NXT last night,
yeah.
how did you feel when you saw that reaction from this man being the infamous man of three faces that we've seen for so long?
Yes, I'm honestly super happy that they were able to keep it a secret.
Yes.
I feel like the art of that, like the art of returns, have kind of been lost because of the dirt sheets and like there is such heavy involvement with all of the
Mm-hmm.
promotions as of late. So I was super happy to see that it was a genuine surprise. Like you could genuinely hear that crowd being like, "Wait, what?" Like I love
Mm-hmm.
reactions like that when you try when the crowd is like processing what happens and when they do, you just hear that pop. So
Yeah.
I'm like very very curious to see where it's gonna go. It's looking like obviously Ridge Holland is his first feud matchup. I think that that's a
Mm-hmm.
really really good choice since Ridge has been kind of going through this "am I a bad person" arc, or I'm trying not to be a bad person, but things keep happening that make me seem optics wise seem that way. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious to see where they're headed and what psychologically like what mind games he could potentially do to
Mm-hmm.
further Rich Holland's descent into madness.
Yes, yes, I agree. And actually, another fun fact about why this is exciting is because as we spoke about on Gresham Unleashed last night, Sean Spears has a wrestling school, and if I'm not mistaken, it's based in Florida. And so, with him being in NXT specifically,
Yeah.
now all of those inexperienced talents that we see potential in, like a Jada Parker, or you know, just like Rizzo, or like so many talents out there, like the lawyer gentleman
Oh,
that
Luca.
Luca, yeah, like all these new guys and girls that are coming in where you can see something in them. Sean Spears can now literally mold them up. Like they have that coach again.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And when you put that with the creativity that Sean is already doing, Shawn Michaels
Yeah.
specifically, of what he's doing, man, this is gonna be NXT is
Yeah.
just gonna continue to grow. Everybody that all of y'all who missed Black and Gold. Now remember me and Ash kind of had our back and forth on NXT before. Remember, I rep for Black and Gold, you rep for 2.0, even though I watched the 2.0. I did watch it. Um man, dog, I'm telling you, we getting the best of both worlds now, slowly but
Yeah.
surely.
Seems like the two worlds are kind of melding. It's like the best
Yeah.
attributes of both. The sports
Yes.
entertainment aspect of 2.0 mixed with like the real wrestling of Black and Gold.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And I love it. Shout out to Florida is only going to make that the product overall better, and
Yeah.
it's amazing to see. So, uh, welcome back, Sean Spears. It is great to have you back in WWE. I definitely hope you are used. I feel like you will be
Hmm.
used a lot better in WWE. Once again, to me, this is a major L for AEW. Like, it just continually is showing me, sadly, that they're getting worse. It seems now. Mercedes,
Yeah, the
we'll
women's
see.
division, I feel like we're kind of going through a turning page right now. But
Yeah, yeah, but we gonna have to see about like the mid card main event scene with AEW, man, because like the story, I seen some of the trolls online talk about they're like, man, I'm tired of these random matches with no story, where it's
yeah.
like, who's this guy and why is he wrestling Chris Jericho, or who's this guy and why is he wrestling so and so. So we'll see how that plays out for them.
Yeah.
We don't root against them. Obviously, we want AEW to succeed. I'm just saying that to
Yes,
say
yes, yes.
this is kind of an L for them because I feel like they still could have utilized him ways
For
they needed.
sure.
But that's the E now. So, moving on, while we're still on what's cooking, we got one more headline for y'all that we want to chop it up about. I'm going to take the reins to actually mention this, and I'm going to say, I want to talk about this interesting NXT scenario with the NXT title picture. Looks like Tony D'Angelo is going back into the Don era, and he's going back into that single side.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And now, as I shared last night, I really hope that if he's separating himself from Stacks like that, then I really hope they get one more member of the family that can either
Tag
tag
with
with
him.
Stacks,
I was
yeah,
thinking that as well.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or if they're gonna push him in the North American mid card title picture, then you can go that route too, if need
Maybe.
be. But it would be nice to just see him with a tag team partner and they can kind of chase the tag team titles
Titles,
as
yeah.
well. But I like what we're seeing with Tony D'Angelo because this is rightfully his place where he should be in the
Yes.
top of the mid card, top of the main event, wherever you want to insert him as a solo act. Um, but also just that Dawn persona. It's back. Now, where it's interesting is seeing this against the new devious, evil mellow that we missed that is
Yeah.
more conniving than ever. And the exchange between him and Dragunov, but now having Tony D'Angelo in the picture. Now, looks like next week, Roadblock, NXT Roadblock's coming. We're gonna talk Revolution in terms of speed predictions. We might do that for Roadblock possibly as well, since it's a special NXT.
Yeah.
But Tony D'Angelo, man, I need to ask you, where do you want this to be a triple threat? Do you want Carmelo to run it back with Dragonov and get the championship so him and Trick can fight? Where are you at on this? What do you feel
So
right now?
so here's the thing. It's a really, really good problem to have.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel like the Mellow Trick Ilya storyline
Mm-hmm.
should kind of stay where it's at right now. Like I'm really, really enjoying like the back and forth between the three of them and like Trick being off TV. I think it really like adds to the weight of the not only the breakup but like how his injuries affected him at the end of Vengeance Day. But
Mm-hmm.
it's hard because I love Tony's contributions to that contract signing last night. Like
Mm-hmm.
he put up a really, really good argument as to why it should be a triple threat. Like him paying off the guards. Yeah. 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 I was like, Sean, you've done it again. I was like, Sean, you every week, Sean, you add these little details to storylines that make it that showcase people and why they should be formidable opponents and why they should be taken seriously. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it could happen. I wouldn't be opposed to it if they made it a triple threat, but I feel like they have like bigger fish to fry, so to speak,
Mm.
with this bigger story going on between Carmelo, Ilya, and Trick.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And that's why but I agree it's a good problem to have, but it's an interesting one at the same time because you don't want Tony D'Angelo to get lost in the shuffle because the moment
Exactly.
Trick comes back, we know what that'll do.
Yeah, almost feel like they should have maybe kept the OTM versus the Family Feud for like a hair longer. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we needed the six person tag match again, but
Mm-hmm.
something to excel that feud where it's like now it's just Scripps versus Tony, or
Mm-hmm.
like there's a bigger focus on Adriana and Jada. Something
Mm-hmm.
to make it a little more interesting to keep Tony more busy towards Stand and Deliver.
Agreed. So much like Mania is having some questions that don't have enough answers, which we'll get into when we get to Benny's block. Um,
Yeah.
it seems Stand and Delivers in a similar situation, it looks like, because now we don't know what this means when Trick gets back. Like, because after
Yeah.
seeing the title match we clearly want him to run it back.
Yes.
But now we're like, okay, well, against who? Do you want him to run it back with Dragunov? Do you want him to do it with his former friend Mello? And they just, I mean, where do we go?
Hard. It's hard because I love Ilya as champion, like to the point where when he was facing Trick, I kind of wanted Ilya to win, and that's saying something because I was in the building when Trick won that Iron Survivor match, and I was screaming my head off. Like I love
Yeah,
Trick, so
yeah.
so it would be awesome to see Ilya and Trick run it back, but something about Mello winning it, Trick
Mm-hmm.
coming back, and having that match at Stand and Deliver, it just gives me such Sasha versus Bailey Takeover Brooklyn vibes.
Yes,
Like, yeah,
yes.
it gives me such like a level of importance and excitement, like big
Mm.
match feel. So it's a good problem to have. I'm happy that I'm not Sean. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm happy that I'm not Sean.
Hey, you and me both. I'm happy I'm not Ava. I'm happy I'm not
Yeah.
creative. This is ooh boy. So
Yeah.
but shout out to the fact this is a good problem to have. We are along for the ride, just like you, ladies and gentlemen out there listening and watching. So look forward to seeing what's going to happen most definitely with this interesting NXT title picture. But without further ado, that about does it for this segment of What's Cooking. So if you enjoyed that, make sure you run it back. We'll have clips of all of these segments and more on the YouTube page, so that way you can see it if you want to just listen to certain segments and digest the show once at a time. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show where I get my infamous keys to the car. We're going to crank it up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to fasten your seatbelts, buckle up. We're getting ready to take a ride down the block, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we on the road to WrestleMania. This is a special road. We on that highway. 40 days away, less than 40 days away to WrestleMania. We riding on a coasting road. As you can see, it's nice and breezy outside. It's feeling good, hair blowing, you know what I'm saying? And so if you look over it, we're going right down through Jabroni Drive, hanging that right where you see the SmackDown Hotel right there getting ready to make its way. And we keep on speeding on down, and you see old Suplex City over there in the corner as we keep on rolling down. There's Slam Jam on down there as well. But listen, we coming around the block, skirt, ladies and gentlemen. Like it or not, you can look, but you surely can't touch. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Keep it on the lock. We right here with Benny's Block. What's good,
All
sis?
right. What's up, you guys? So, really, really good week. Really, really good topics across all promotions. We also have the start of the TV tournament in ROH. So, let's get into it. I'm super excited to discuss.
Let's do it.
So, let's start with WWE. So, this week, some of the major topics that have been weighing heavy on my heart is the first one being Bailey continues to be treated like she's not the Rumble winner when it comes to promotional and marketing.
Come
I
on.
don't understand what's happening, but I don't know if they know this, but Bailey is our 2024 Royal Rumble winner. We want to see her on the posters. We want to see her on the marquee. This is
Mm,
her year. This is a huge year for Bailey, especially since she campaigned so hard for this damage control story to even
mm,
happen. I I have been very critical of Triple H's overseeing of the women's division. And
mhm,
I feel like this story has definitely been something that, in my eyes, like could potentially like elevate the division as well as like take it to new heights and start potentially more storylines and show people that you can be involved in women's storylines, which is so crazy to me because I feel like every couple of years we do this where it's like women's storylines are interesting a concept,
Yeah, yeah,
but
absolutely.
let's have a story, let's have a build. And I feel like it's so strange with Bailey, especially since so many people have now spoken out about it. Like CM Punk has made a couple of jokes about it. AEW's Thunder Rosa has spoken out against this entire situation. So I just want Bailey to be paid her dues and to have a fantastic Mania season. And plus, when you think about it, if you're watching like the SmackDown viewerships and the demos every week, every single time that there's a damage control segment, they're trending higher for that hour. So it's meaning that
Mhm.
people are like on Twitter, people are watching online and being like, "Oh, damage control is next. It's time to turn on Fox and see what's going on. Let's see what's the next part of this story." So
Mhm.
come on, guys. Bailey is a clear draw. Let's treat her better. Let's treat her better and treat her like the star that she is. I don't know.
Man, couldn't agree more with you on that, sis. That is a wonderful, wonderful statement to make. And honestly, last night we kind of talked about that because we were talking about how it seems like Mania plans have been like they've been basically hijacked and pivoted this entire road to this is probably the most pivoted road to WrestleMania of
Yeah.
all time, right?
Yeah.
Because what was locked in is now not locked in because fans have hijacked and
Yeah.
taken over, right? So here we go again, where I'm like, we were saying keep that same energy, because say with Cody, okay, he finishes the story. Well, keep that same energy that we want Cody, all of y'all who joined on the trend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then y'all better stay on that same trend when he wins the title inevitably, and don't be like, oh, we're tired of seeing Cody with the belt. We're tired of seeing Cody. So I campaigned last night, so I'm right there with you when I said, okay, well, if fans are hijacking the show so much right now, where's this energy for Bailey then? What why are we saying we want Cody? We should be saying we
Yeah.
want more
We
of
want
Bailey,
Bay. Mm-hmm.
the Royal Rumble
Mm-hmm.
winner who has been completely overshadowed.
Yes.
Completely.
And let's be honest, out of all of the matches that have been pivoted and changed, Bailey
Mhm.
versus Io was very much a lock since she won that belt in SummerSlam.
Mhm.
The downfall of damage control was always imminent. It was always the plan. We just
Mhm.
didn't know if it was gonna come up. Maybe it would have ended at Fastlane. Who knows? How they were planning to have the culmination of it and the ending of that play out. But they
Mhm.
chose to have Bailey be the Rumble winner. So it's just like, let's treat her like the Rumble winner. Like she's even in SmackDown, they're getting like 2 to 3 minutes segments with between like Dakota and Bailey. And yes, it's
Mhm.
excelling the story, but we have seen them have characters kind of be the throughway throughout the entire show. Where
Mhm.
we've had like someone like Jay Uso at the top of the show, and then his entire storyline leads into the main event of the night. You could
Mhm.
do that for Bailey. You could
Yeah.
keep them. You could keep Damage Control busy and give them stuff to do. They hold all the gold
Mhm.
on
They do.
SmackDown for the women. So there's so much potential there, but they're not really doing anything.
Yeah, on behalf of you ladies, man, I can understand how frustrating that is. As a man, I just want to speak and just say that you guys definitely deserve better with what's going on because I mean, geez Louise, like we're talking about Seth being overshadowed. We're talking about Cody not getting his fair shot to finish his story here. Again, listen to the ladies here for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh we're going to get into the other half of the ladies, right? But it's
Mm-hmm.
very apparent both sides of the
Sides.
division seem to be kind of one's locked in because we kind of had a hint of that for so long.
Yeah.
So at least that hasn't been pivoted, or so we think. Right? Because we'll get into that. Uh so yeah, no, give Bailey her just due, but not even just Bailey, also Io, because at the end of the day, man, I realize she's a Japanese champion that sometimes is limited with her English. But at the end of the day, we're talking about the genius of the sky. We're talking about
Yeah.
one of the best women's wrestlers right now on the planet.
Yeah.
Okay? Chilling. like you said, with her stable, all the gold, and
Keep
nobody
them
wants to talk about it,
busy. Give them
bro.
something to do. And like it's really no excuse, because if there's one thing that Shawn Michaels has shown me is that you can keep audiences engaged without necessarily putting them in a match every week or
Mm-hmm.
having them win every week. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like women are featured weekly on NXT. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like I need the main roster to catch up. I
Yeah.
need the main roster to catch up, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I totally
So
agree. Totally
so
agree.
that's just unfortunate. But speaking of NXT, I want to talk about the potential of the stand and deliver card for the women. So
Okay.
as of right now, it's looking, all of the people who have like some momentum going into stand and deliver is Miss Lash Legend,
Okay.
Roxanne Perez,
Okay.
Kiana James,
Okay.
Miss Jada Parker,
Ooh, all right.
and Tatum Paxley.
True.
Tatum
Okay.
Paxley. So I feel like this is like a very nice assortment of women to
Mm-hmm.
have in that main event picture, or even like tag matches or anything like that. So for me, I feel like Roxanne and Lyra need to run it back. I don't know if it's a
Mm.
stand. I don't know if it's at Roadblock. I don't know if it's at Stand and Deliver.
Okay.
we They need like a definitive matchup, because this is kind of like the crux of Roxanne's character. Every week she's beating girls' heads in because she don't have the
Mm.
title. So I feel like
True.
either she needs to lose it and finally do that heel turn, or
Mm-hmm.
win it and be like, all's right in the world. I need something to happen with that character development so that
Mm-hmm.
we can finally have that payoff. Because I feel like we've been kind of going up this roller coaster with Roxanne, where it's like, is she finally going to turn heel? Is she finally going to turn heel? She hasn't
Mm-hmm.
yet. She has like heel antics. Like last night, I don't know if you guys were watching Jakara. She held that crossface in after, and she's been doing that a little bit after each match. I mean, she's putting belt to ass in the locker room
Mm-hmm.
every single every single segment that she's in. So it's just
Come
like I
on.
want to see a payoff. I want to see a payoff. I'm trying to see an end game here. Kiana James, Lash Legend. Those two, I feel like I'm very, very curious to see what's going to happen, because they're both technically in tag teams. So, but they're
Okay.
both strong enough to where they're also can double as single competitors. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they could easily maybe like have a tag match, face somebody. Again, it's super, super hard because they don't have tag titles in NXT. So it's like, are they gonna have the Kabuki Warriors fight on the card 2 different nights? Are they gonna
Mm.
do morning shift and then night shift of night 1 or night 2? So that's like something for them to think about. But I feel like it's warranted, it's needed, and it's deserved.
Let
So
me ask. Let me ask you this real quick, not to interrupt,
yes,
but let me
no,
ask you this then. We've touched on this subject once before, so I'm gonna ask
yeah,
this question again, Derek. Sir, I want you to make this the promo because we did this as a promo before. So I want you to make this the promo clip. All right.
yes.
When we edit, right here, promo clip. Back to these WWE Women's Tag Team titles yet again. Okay, I have to ask you this because NXT, you just mentioned it, has
Yeah,
all these women and they have tag teams while also having women that can shine in singles.
yeah,
Meanwhile, WWE's main roster is struggling with tag teams.
yes,
Let's just call it like it is. They unified the wrong side of titles, it looks like. Should
mm-hmm.
NXT have the tag titles and the main
Yes,
roster have a mid card women's title? Yes or no?
yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Because it's also now where they book themselves to the point where on the main roster, where it's like, if you were to put Liv and Raquel back together,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go crazy, because it's like that's not what they deserve. That's not where their stories are. It's basically
Mhm.
like, we need them on the card, so let's put them back together so that they
Mhm.
can have that spot at WrestleMania. Whereas
Yeah.
if you introduce the mid card title, you could do a fatal 4-way or like some type of gauntlet match to try to determine who would be the winner, and you can utilize people like me and Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi.
Mhm.
So many different people would now have an opportunity instead of just being put in some 8-woman tag match, you know, which I feel
Agreed.
like would, or on pre-show or somewhere lost in the shuffle of the card.
Yeah.
The tag titles would have so much more weight and so much more importance on NXT. There's
Mm-hmm.
actual tag teams in NXT, and it's like every single week they have like they have these really really good matches. They're booking people like Jakara and Lash who have fantastic momentum, but
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing to do with
Mm-hmm.
that, which is why I also kind of felt away when Lyra and Tatum were getting that championship opportunity, because I was like, out of all the girls, out of all the girls. I mean, like, I'm happy for the storyline purposes because I feel like we're getting Tatum. Maybe we're getting Tatum versus Lyra at Stand and
Mm-hmm.
Deliver. So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. It's. I've been saying this for months now that that main roster needs a mid card title. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's overdue. It's to the point now
Yeah.
where it's like looking at the Mania card. It's like, what are they gonna do with all of these women without just forcing them all into a tag match? That's completely
Yeah.
undeserved.
I agree. And that's reason I want this specifically as the promotional clip for this very episode is because going back to the point we just made about you fans hijacking, you're hijacking the wrong thing sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to these little details, okay? Tell management in WWE, bring the tag titles back to NXT.
Yeah.
Make a mid card title for the main roster women because
Yeah.
I'm sure you were going to probably bring this up, but all due respect to Shayna Baszler, all due respect to Zoe Stark, to have yet another tag match with zero reaction and people sitting on their hands, a hot tag with no reaction, no pop, no
Yeah.
standing on. Does that not tell you? Give them a mid card title, make a mini tournament or a gauntlet match, like you said, or something,
Something.
and
Ladder
let
match.
that be the
Something.
anything.
Something. Yeah.
Meanwhile, let these young guns out here in NXT form these tag teams, the ones that aren't ready to be single, the ones that are kind of able to do a little bit both, right?
Yeah.
Let them battle it out for tag team titles
Yeah.
because everybody can't go for the NXT Women's Championship. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
they
Because
can't.
when you think about it as well, we also have Lola Vice, who's also has like a lot of momentum as well. Because like mentally, I was thinking maybe like I feel like Lyra has to do a triple threat. It has
Yeah.
to be either Lola, Tatum, or Roxanne. I don't know
Mhm.
which of those three are gonna make the cut, but it has to be one of those three ladies. So it's just it's super super hard this year. I feel like the way everybody has been booked super strong to where if they
Mhm.
don't get put in the place, if they're on the card but they're not placed where people deem they were supposed to be, I feel like the
Mhm.
payoff is not going to be there. So it's hard. It's hard. I again, I don't envy Sean. These are hard decisions to make, but I know that he's going
Yeah.
to work it out because I say this every week, but if nobody got me, Sean got. He's always gonna
Thank you,
figure it
Sean.
out. He's always gonna figure it out. He's always gonna put it together. Okay,
Yeah.
Jada versus Gigi last night. He knew what he was doing. He
Oh,
knew what he was doing.
boy,
Somebody
did
tweeted.
he.
Somebody tweeted was like, "I hope they reinforce the ring before they before they came
All that cake? Yeah, I hope they did. Shoot, boy.
on the commercial break." They were just like,
Man, man, it took
"All
everything
right,
in my power. I said, yeah, this yeah, okay. All right, I see what we're doing here. I see
yeah,
what you're
yeah."
doing. And you put it in a later spot at that. You ain't slick. I
Yeah,
saw what you did.
before the main event, yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah,
no,
but
excellent points.
yeah, but I'm excited to see where Stand and Deliver goes. Like honestly, I it's like the theme of this episode. It's a good problem to have because
Mhm.
there's nothing worse than it being like, I don't really know who's worthy of facing the title against Lyra. You know, like
Mhm.
whoever it is, I'm sure it'll be a good match. Whereas there's so many different opportunities and so many different storylines that it could branch off into. I'm very
Mhm.
excited. So
Agreed.
to close out the WWE, we have something that has been getting setting Twitter ablaze all this week. Who, what is exactly going to be the matchup for Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 40? We already
Mm.
know that Becky Lynch has won the Elimination Chamber, But if you guys have watched Raw this week, things got a little bit interesting. So Liv Morgan faced Nia Jax, which when I saw that, I was like, the tour bus needs an alignment, Liv. How are they booking her against? I was like, Paul, what are we doing? I wanted to knock on the door. It was getting to that point where I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing with Liv? What are we doing? Happy that it ended the way it ended because it's like Becky Lynch interfered. Liv was not happy, saying, not everything is about you, which, gag it.
I knew you would appreciate that.
Yeah, I did. I popped for that on my couch.
Oh, shout out to our girl Key as well, because Key, like you, I've been seeing her, she's one of our sponsors. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? One of our sponsors of the show. She also has been campaigning for Liv. So, saying, where my Liv Morgan fans at? So shout out to y'all. We see y'all. I hear y'all. You know what I'm saying?
We're here.
I'm sure my lady's probably right there with y'all quietly. She's she the casual watcher, but she love her some Liv. So that's her girl. So she right there with y'all. But nah, yeah, this is, you know what? I'll say this. Maybe this is where not Liv, I'm sorry. This is where Rhea would have bettered off if she had like a female version of Judgment Day, because then she could have just went one by one, kind of like, was it Sammy? I think Sammy did that with the Bloodline, right? One by one by one. One of those feuds, it was either Sammy or it was Drew or it was somebody.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, or I know Randy Orton definitely, because he was like, hey, everybody's getting an RKO, which I just thought about how that story totally just took a whole left. That's for another day, y'all. I just thought about that too, because I'm like, wait a minute. Wasn't he supposed to be hunting his own right? He should be going with Cody then, if that's the case, because he was supposed to be giving an RKO for everyone.
This story, man. this Cody Rock Roman Seth story has been pissing me off so bad. I was like, you know what, y'all? This is what happens when you listen to the fans. Like, instead of just keeping the vision of what you wanted, because now it's giving floundering. Now it's giving lost. Now it's giving, I don't know what I'm doing. Seth looks dumb. So it's like, it is what it is at this point. But
it is. But continue. I didn't want to sidetrack that. It was just something I thought about. But for Rhea, yeah, if she had a female stable, like a female version of the Judgment Day, I think that would have done this Liv Revenge tour better, because it would have been like, okay, you guys are associated with who I'm trying to
something to keep her busy. Something to keep her busy while this whole Becky and Rhea thing is happening. Right. So that was super unfortunate. But my thing is that, are we going to get a fatal four-way now? Because Nia is still involved in the situation. Nia and Becky's beef has not let up to the point where Nia and Becky have a match next week. Liv is 100,000% interfering, ending in DQ. So it's going to be like, well, look at what we have here, ladies. We have a standstill. Nobody has definitively beat anybody since Chamber. What are we going to do? That personally makes me a little nervous. I kind of like the idea of a multi-woman match because, again, like, it kind of helps the problem of like, what are we going to do with all of these women who deserve to be on the card? But at the same time, it's like, Liv's probably going to eat that pin. And I don't want that. I don't want that. I honestly, like, once everything happened, I was super, super fine with Rhea versus Becky, because I was like, listen, we'll get to Liv at a later date. But since, fans have been not as passionate as they were about Cody, but they have been definitely passionate, and they have definitely been airing their grievances out with this Becky versus Rhea story. So it's kind of seeming like maybe they're going to pivot and add more women into the match, which, one, I feel like it's almost diluting Liv's story. Liv has the money story. If they can build that and keep that story going until SummerSlam, if they were to do like a roster like after Mania and like put Liv on SmackDown and keep Rhea on Raw, keep them apart for a little bit, and then something happens before, like a month out to SummerSlam, that forces them to kind of butt heads again, I would prefer that than having Liv lose. So it's kind of like, well, girl, you lost. Like they can like
Mm-hmm.
in the terms of kayfabe, you can say definitively like you lost. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I don't like where it's heading. I'm fine with Rhea versus Becky. If I had it my way, I would just keep Rhea versus Becky and let them tell that money match so that we can keep playing out with this storyline that's actually happening between Rhea and Liv. It is a little frustrating though that Rhea has not acknowledged Liv's existence since her return.
True.
That's also something that I feel like is like another story beat that makes no sense. But we're here, we're here.
It could be because she just had the poor girl has so much on her plate already as it is. I mean, it's like you have to make sure Judgment Day is standing in line half the time. You got to get on your fellas.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got your Dom, of course, for one.
Yeah.
Then you got Naya, who's clearly making it known she's not finished with you yet.
Yeah.
And then you got this Becky problem. So it's like you probably can't focus on Liv as much as she may want to.
Exactly. So it's like the story. I feel like if she were to be like, and for me, you injured me, and it's kind of like adding to a list. Whereas it should be it should be the agenda. It should be the itinerary. It shouldn't be a bullet point on a bunch of reasons as to why Rhea should be dethroned. It should be
Yeah.
the main reason.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah.
so
Totally.
I've been having issues. I've been having issues making peace with that, but we'll see. We'll see on Raw. We'll see on Raw. But all
Indeed.
right. So moving on to AEW, I'm super excited because I feel like we have finally gotten the first roadmap as to who Mercedes' first match is going to be.
Ooh.
It's going to be Serena Deeb. It's
Mm.
definitely because if you, I don't know if you guys were watching Collision this past Saturday, she had a pretty quick standard match, made light work of her, but she got the mic and she kind of basically issued an open challenge, kind of basically being like, if whether like our women's division is growing and slowly becoming one of the best women's divisions in I mean everybody says that. Do you
Mm-hmm.
believe that AEW women's division is the best? They're certainly debatable, but she also said for people coming in to this company, I feel like that was a direct at Miss Mercedes
Mm.
Moné. I feel like it's the
Okay.
perfect first match. Serena has been on a winning streak since her return. She has a
Mm-hmm.
couple wins up her belt. We as fans know that Serena can go. So I feel like it's the perfect combination to give Mercedes that first match that'll have everybody talking. Put it on
Mm.
Dynamite. Um, yeah, like just give it to me. Just give it to me. Like I'm ready.
Serena Deeb is definitely a very underrated individual with what she can do, and if there's anyone that can really put a really dope match together with her, that would
Mm-hmm.
most certainly be, uh,
Yeah.
Serena. So, I like that. I
Yeah,
like that a
because when
lot.
you think about it, it's not too high up on the card, but it's a
Mhm,
formidable opponent. It's a respected opponent. It's somebody that
mhm,
everybody knows in the wrestling
mhm.
community. So I feel like it has like that perfect combination to put Mercedes at a high spot in the division already. It's kind
Yeah.
of like Deanna in her debut match. So I I like it. I like the idea. I'm hoping
Okay.
that that's the case.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right. All right.
So moving on to Tony Storm versus Deanna Purrazzo, we have this coming weekend. We have
Come
gotten
on.
an actual story build for this one, so it makes me super super excited. I'm really really hoping that the focus of the match is just like their friendship and and what the psychology will bring from that. I'm hoping like
Mhm.
we get like a lot of I wanted to seem like real friends falling out. Like I want Deanna to be like, "This isn't you," and I want Tony to be like, "You don't know me," type beat. Like I really want them to go at it. I know that it's gonna be match of the night contender for sure. Like
Okay. Okay. I
I
rock
mean,
with
they're gonna
that.
cook. They're gonna cook. So
I
I'm very
believe it.
very excited. Um, I'm trying to think of like any other like wish list. Maybe a Mariah May interference. We know that Tony, Timeless Tony, always has some antics, whether it be having Luther carry her up so that she can drag drag the girl to the post. Some
Very
antics.
true.
I'm hoping that because I love that creativity. Like, what can we do in this matchup that will be in line with Tony's character? And I would also love to
Mhm.
see just Deanna on a huge PLE platform, huge high stakes match, showcasing
Mhm.
her talents to like a whole new audience. I feel like that is so exciting, especially with the return of Mercedes. Like Mercedes Monet versus Deanna Perrazzo. I need it. I
Steph's
need it.
kiss.
I need
Come
it.
on
I need
now.
it. I need it. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to see where it goes. Honestly, a lot of people are saying, like, what do you think is going to happen after the match? I
Mhm.
think Timeless Tony is just going to hold up that belt and go, bye, everyone. I don't think that we're going to see a next challenger. I think that we
Mhm.
might just like cool off from the feud from it for a little bit because I don't think that Mercedes is coming out at Revolution. Just because we
No,
know that the big boss, big business is March 13th.
yeah, they're gonna really save that. Now they might try to do a little something with like who knows, maybe like a high class type car or something, maybe, and
Yeah.
tease like, who could that be? And then you see
Yeah.
that car show up at big business.
You know what I would love if, like, at the start of the show, they had a car pull up. We don't
Mhm.
see who's in the car. And then maybe at the start of the match, like a man or like a woman, like a suit comes out. And they're kind of just like,
Ooh,
like the
oh,
entire match. And then at the end
okay.
of the match, they just kind of like shake Tony's hand and be like, we'll be in talks. I would love that. I would love that.
Hey,
I would love
I,
that.
hey, I ain't
I
gonna
would love
lie, Ash.
would
That's
love
some,
that.
that's some, that's some, that's some. You know what that give me? That give me that almost gives me the vibes. I think about. I always said he had the greatest debut in WWE to this day. It reminds me of MVP. When
Yeah.
MVP first debuted, the fact that they made it like a real NBA sports like kind of feel, like
Yeah.
he's in front of press and they're asking like, "Hey, you're the hottest free agent. Like, where are you gonna end up? You gonna end up on Raw, SmackDown? Where are you gonna go? This and that." And he's like, my people, they having conversations. We're gonna see what's going on. It made you feel like I felt like I'm watching some straight Sports Center stuff for a second.
Yeah.
And then they got him chilling in the crowd with some
like
ladies like a VIP, and he's like,
Yep, like shake Luther's hand and be like, "We'll be in talk. My people will contact your people," or
yeah, yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. You
Anything,
know,
man. So that would be dope. That would be dope. I'm not
I
gonna
would
lie.
love. I would pop hard for that. I'm not gonna lie. And she hasn't even stepped foot in the building. We haven't even seen her yet. But
Come
but that would pop
on.
me hard. That would pop me hard.
Okay,
All
okay.
right. So closing out, now moving on to TNA. Obviously, Jordan Grace versus Giselle Shaw was fantastic. Not
Mhm.
quite the outcome that you and I foresaw. I was a little
Yeah,
bit. I saw, like, I knew the potential was high that Jordan would retain, but
yeah.
I do feel like in a lot of ways, like this would have been Giselle's time. Like that would have been like a fantastic opportunity, and I feel like that would have been the moment to pull the trigger on that. So I was a
Agreed.
little disappointed in that regard. Has me wondering what is next for Giselle Shaw.
Hmm. Honestly, if I had to guess this, I feel like it's just that it's the sometimes they say the baby face works better with the chase, but there are usually instances where it reverses, and usually the
Mm,
heel gets more motivated behind the chase. Like
yeah,
they get more devious, they get more like, you know, they start with the entourage. Sometimes it's like wrestling's very interesting, right? Because sometimes
yeah.
the heel usually relies on the faction to
Mm-hmm.
get to what they finally want to get over the top. And then when they
Yeah,
climb that mountain, they got the faction to help. Other times they may rely on the faction's not getting the job done, and then they do like what Giselle Shaw did, 86 the entire faction,
yeah,
get a different gear going, and then all of a sudden they're more ruthless, they're more aggressive, and then before you know it, they finally get over the hump. I would not be surprised if this is a reverse chase kind of situation where she finally gets it, and then I can't call if you get like a double turn kind of situation, but it would be at
yeah.
least one of those where it's like, okay, she finally had a moment, she did it, and now all hell's about to break loose.
Yeah, literally, because I would love to see her with that belt. Like I see the vision for it. I
Yeah,
want to see the matchups. Like the potential is there for sure.
for sure.
So, and then also we had the debut match of Ash by Elegance. Shout out to
Hey,
her. Super
okay.
super excited. Can't
Hmm.
wait to see where that goes. Um, Tasha Steelz and Zaya Brookside trilogy.
Mm.
My whole thing about it is that I feel like I don't know what's been happening because like I feel like knockouts like they do such a good job at like handling the women.
Hmm.
Recently there's been like for example like the MK Ultra with Decay
Hmm.
storyline as well as like this Tasha Steelz and Zaya Brookside storyline. It hasn't really hit me or really like
Yeah.
translated in the way that I wanted to. I feel like it's because of the fact that they had Zaya win that first match. I feel like that's why,
Mm.
because it just felt like Tasha Steelz is Tasha Steelz. Like she has won
Yeah.
the Knockouts Women's Championship. So it doesn't, and then she's also faced people like Mickey James. So it's like, I didn't, it felt a little bit unbelievable. So I feel like that's
Hmm.
why most people haven't really found that in high investment in the matchup yet. I'm curious to
Yeah.
see where it goes. I think the second match was better. So
It
let's see.
was.
Yeah, it
Y-
definitely
y-
was.
Sometimes, funny thing about wrestling trilogies, man, wrestling trilogies are interesting, right? Because they're unlike movies, as we know with movies, either the first movie is the best movie, or the second movie is the best movie, or the last. Well, nah, usually it's rare for the third movie to be the best movie,
Some Lord of the
and
Rings,
and
yeah.
yeah, it's
Very
very
rare.
rare. Usually, it's either the first or the second. But in wrestling, it seems like when you get into a trilogy, the third is always like it's like a slow build, and the
Yeah.
third is always just, unless you're talking like Swerve and Hangman, where it's like, dude, that second matchup, you couldn't top that,
Yeah.
where they had to do a whole draw for their third
Yeah.
match, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how you top that second match of their trilogy, because it's like, bro,
Yeah.
that was literally him drinking his blood. How are you gonna
Yeah.
top that, right?
Where do we go from here? Yeah, like
Where
where
do you
do we
go
go
from here?
from here?
Right.
Like
So I agree with you. It's not hitting, because I do feel like the first time felt kind of like flukish, where it was like, bro, that's not fair to Tasha. But then also it's like,
yeah.
there's been no promo. Like, where was the passionate Tasha Steelz promo after it, saying like, yo, rookie, you got lucky,
Run it back.
or
Yeah.
let's run that back, and then put the fire into what they did in the second match. Then being like, I'm, because I see her talking I see the trash talk from her,
Yeah.
right? You can see it in the match, and you can see it even when she won the second match. But I still need like actual promo to show, like,
Yeah.
you know what I
Because
mean?
like even the promo that Tasha cut on Thursday when she was like, but you won't stop running your mouth. So it's looking like we're gonna have to go again. I feel like that's not reason enough. I feel like if it would have been more beneficial if Zai was like, so I'm back, like if Tasha was backstage, like, yeah, I'm having a great time. I'm wondering who my next competitor is. And Zai just like jumped in and was just like just started beating her, something to warrant and make the feud a little more spicy because it's
Yeah.
not spicy. There's no nothing in it. Like it's not giving anything yet.
Yeah, it's making me wonder. I gotta do some research. We're gonna have to do some research on who's producing the women's matches and running the women's side of creative.
As of
Because I
late,
feel like,
yeah.
I think they need a woman representative backstage. I don't know if they have any women producers when it comes to these
Yeah.
women's
I know
matches.
I know Gail is, but I don't know if Gail's like
Yeah.
creative. I don't know if Gail is
Right.
like a part of creative. So
Right. Yeah, we need a little deeper on, so we're gonna have to research that. Anybody that hears this, if you do know, let us reach out to us and let us know so we can do
yeah.
some research on that. But yeah, I see what you mean, sis. They need something deeper for these ladies. And we talked about tag matches and tag titles. Man, yeah, I think they kind of need to 86 their tag titles too. Cause low
They
key,
don't have a division.
y'all ain't deep enough like that, bro. Y'all need to go ahead and just turn that into a mid card title, so that the
yeah.
Zaya Brooksides and the Tasha Steelses and anyone else you want to put in a mid card can hold it down until they say, okay, I'm a Savannah Evans, for crying out loud, who's now just out there at this
hanging
point.
out.
Yeah.
Maybe like in the question of what is Giselle Shaw gonna do, maybe her Chantarage will come back to bite her. Be like, so you did need us or something like that, and like kind of face them to keep her busy for a little bit while Jordan maybe faces Ash by Elegance or something
Yeah.
along those lines, you know. But I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. And yeah, shout out to Giselle Shaw. A
Shout
Spanish
out to
fly on the apron
Chef's Kiss.
and no
Bravo.
surrender. I see you, girl. I see you, girl. I see you, girl. All right.
Love it. Love it.
So to close out Benny's block, we have ROH talk. So honestly, I finally caught up to ROH.
Mhm.
It was so hard not having Athena on the show, but when the Queen came back, oh, it was like seeing water in a desert, you know?
Come on.
Seeing
Come
water
on.
in a desert. This Nyla Rose and Athena feud has been very, very interesting to me because it's almost as if Athena was the face and Nyla was definitely the heel. That's one thing I know for sure. Nyla was definitely the heel in this matchup. Whereas
Wow.
Athena was kind of playing tweener to the point where like every single promo, every single segment that Athena was doing leading up to this, Nyla was just clocking her. And it got to the point where like Athena cut a promo like sitting on the floor being like, you've beat me down, you've done all of these terrible things to me, you've tried to take my minions, like my friends, but in my hometown I'm going to take you down, which then led to our, I forget what it's called, I know that it was like a false best 2 out of 3 like tables match. I forget what it was, I forget what the exactly it was called.
Usually they call it 3 stages of hell, or at least they used to, but I don't know if they still call it that these days.
Yeah, Nyla, it was, I forgot what she said. She explained it very eloquently as well.
Yes,
The guidelines of the match. But man, if you guys have not seen this Nyla Rose versus Athena match, go watch that match. A lot of women's wrestling last week, arguably in like my top 3 matches that came out from last week.
Ooh, okay.
Really, really, really good. The spots of like, I really, really liked the fact that you had to put them through a table in order to get that pin count. I thought that like there was, for example, like Athena hit the O face from the top rope, and which made Nyla fall backwards off the apron into a table. Like really, really, really creative and fun spots. Check that match out. Obviously, Athena retained. I'm curious to see where we're headed next because, as we all know, we're going to talk about it in a little bit. The TV tournament is happening and ongoing right now. It's taking a lot of the girlies from that opportunity that to have that main event match with Athena. And I mean, to be honest, Athena has kind of whooped that division twice. So I'm curious to see where we're headed. Perhaps more AEW talent is going to face and challenge Athena. Mercedes? I don't know, but it's kind of like who else can Athena face? Unless we start pulling from AEW talent. And to be fair, Nyla is an AEW talent, so you know.
Yeah, I mean,
it
because
seems
you got
like we're
Deanna.
already starting.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what
I mean, like,
happens.
yeah, Deanna versus Athena, I would welcome that with open arms. Mariah May versus Athena, Mercedes versus Athena. It's a little frustrating having the AEW and the ROH divisions kind of like intermingle. It makes it a little confusing.
It
But
does.
since TK is doing it already, why not? You know, at this point, you know, so
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Oh man. Yeah, that's now you got me. You're gonna have me thinking on that one, sis, because
yeah, like
I gotta figure that
who
out.
was gonna be Athena's next challenger? Maybe Deanna. Like maybe Deanna. We shall
Maybe
see.
she pulls a Samoa Joe and she's just like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this. I'm on to the AEW Women's title.
I
You
feel like
never
they
know.
kind of have to do that because it's like Athena has been booked so dominantly. I like to see her lose it. It would have to be somebody either returning or somebody new, you know, to add that level, that layer, or somebody like she's never faced, never matched up with, never touched before.
You made me
So
think of, remember that Ronda Rousey tease?
Oh God. Oh God. You know what's funny? That match, that tag match they had, I think it was like Billy Starks and Athena versus Mercedes Martinez and Ronda Rousey, wasn't bad. That was low-key the best that Ronda had wrestled in maybe like 5 years. Like maybe, yeah, like in a long time. In a long
Yes.
time. In a long time.
Jeez.
Okay.
Jeez.
So
Yikes.
closing out Benny's block, we have the TV tournament. After weeks and weeks of 2-minute matches, we are finally here to have this tournament. I think that it's been going really, really well so far. My favorite matches that we've seen so far is obviously Billy Starks versus Robin Renegade. That was a really, really good one. And I also
Yes.
really enjoyed Mercedes Martinez versus Trisha Dora. Um,
Okay.
yes, really, really good match.
Shout out to the homie Trish.
Yes, check that out if you haven't seen it yet. And then Rachel Ellering versus Layla Hirsch, because there was a story involved, which was
Okay.
really, really cool. Tag team going head to head against each other. I thought that the psychology in that match was really, really interesting. My favorite match so far, though, that we've seen has been Sussy Love versus Taya Valkyrie. I
Ooh.
was not expecting that match to grab me the way it did, but I really, really enjoyed Sussy Love's contributions to the match. I honestly felt like it was a fantastic showcase for
Mm-hmm.
Sussy Love as well, but obviously Taya looked fantastic. It was pretty, the matchups so far have been pretty predictable because we have like a lot of up and coming younger talent versus people that are known and loved in the division. So like the first round matchups were pretty predictable, but I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I was happy that TK gave them time so that each match had like their own build up, their own story, and they were able to find the groove and the chemistry in the match, which I appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
So coming up this week, we have Diamante versus Billy Starks, Mercedes Martinez versus Abaddon, Layla
Hmm.
Hirsch versus Red Velvet, and Queen Aminata versus Taya Valkyrie.
Wow.
Yeah, so these matchups are actually very, very unpredictable. I feel like Billy is obviously going to make it to the finals, but everyone
Mhm.
else, I'm not entirely sure. So I'm really,
Yeah.
really excited.
Unique choices of matchups in some of these.
Mm-hmm.
Abaddon and Mercedes Martinez. I'm like, wait a minute. That's gonna be interesting
Yeah,
to see how
that's
that
gonna
works.
be very, very interesting. I honestly feel like the diamond in these matchups is gonna be Queen Aminata versus Taya Valkyrie. I feel like that's
Yes.
gonna be a cook up. I feel like that's gonna be a for sure cook up.
Yeah,
So
Queen, shout out to her, man. She did a nice promo cut on that they showed on the Instagram, showing
yeah,
where she cut that promo on Taya. Like, I miss that old Taya that I grew up in. Like, this
I
version
saw
they used
that.
too flamboyant. I'm like, yo, this is crazy, bro.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I
I do like the Taya. I do like the gimmick that her and Johnny TV have, where it's like she's not TV ready. Like that's always
mm-hmm.
very funny to me
Oh
because it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's so rude. It's so rude.
yeah.
But all right, that's Penny's block.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up one good time for Benny's block. Appreciate that ride. I hope y'all enjoyed it. So y'all already know what time it is, man. We got the predictions, speed predictions coming up. Well, we'll be getting ready to do our speed predictions on AEW Revolution because we got that pay-per-view coming up this upcoming Saturday. And we may, if we have a little time, we may get into NXT Roadblock based off the matches they've announced, since that's a special version of NXT. But
Yes.
before getting into any of that, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. Everybody's favorite segment of them all, no doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for none other than the botch of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all about just anything and everything centered around what this show is. Life's a botch. So this is basically open to the public. It could be wrestling, it could be non-wrestling, just anything we felt was very botched throughout the week. So I'm gonna start with you, Ms. Ashbenny. Did you have anything for this week on your botch of the week?
I do actually.
Okay,
So
okay,
I
okay. Well, you're
feel
making up for not being able to share last week, so I like
I
that.
actually have a double feature. I actually have a double
Ooh, okay,
feature now that I think
okay,
about it. Okay.
okay. Let's go.
So my first one is actually going to go to Max Caster
Uh-oh.
from The Acclaim
Come on.
because of Collision when he messed up his rap. It was pretty honestly,
Oh.
I feel like Max as of late has just been kind of down ticking down with
Oh.
like his rapping. Like he tried throwing like a bar about Vince McMahon. I was like, tomatoes aren't enough. I was like, cabbage isn't enough. Like, why are we talking? Like, yeah, like no. And then for him to mess up the bar,
Mm-hmm.
this is live TV, baby. This is live
Yeah.
TV.
It
Honestly,
ain't.
I was when I saw that clip, like I cringed. I felt really, really bad. I felt really, really bad. But these things happen. It was bound to happen, to be honest. It was
Oh,
bound to
for sure.
happen. If you're doing a freestyle every single week,
You're gonna miss. Yeah.
eventually you're gonna something's gonna happen where you might be off time or you might oversay too many words or overthink something in the bar. Something's gonna happen. So better now
Yeah.
than at a pay-per-view, you know?
I'm shocked. Well, yeah, yeah, you're right about. I'm shocked it happened this later in the career. I mean, he's been doing
Right?
this what 4 years now. Low
Yeah.
key, like
Yeah. It was bound to happen.
wow.
It was
Yeah.
bound to
Oh,
happen.
well, welcome to the botch of the week, Mr. Max Caster. We still love you, brother.
We still love you.
The acclaimed has arrived indeed, but
Yeah.
with that one. So you had a double feature. What's your next botch of the week then?
So my next one is at WWE fans because you guys need to lay off Maxine Dupree. There is a video going around on Twitter of her walking up the ramp at a house show, like a little coconut show. They are, it's like, Maxine, you suck. Like, like,
Whoa.
like passion, like passionate. And she's just like, thank you guys. Like, you can see it all in her face. And it's like, guys, she knows. Like, as a person who met, like, if when you mess up, you messed up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like she knows
Mhm.
what she needs to work on. That's why she's out here. That's why she's, taking these risks and basically learning in front of us. It takes a lot of balls to do that. So it's like,
Mhm.
I understand the feedback, but let's give her grace. Let's give her that time to figure it out,
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
oh my God, that video, it was like all that was missing was like the throwing of like popcorn. Like it was giving that energy. Like it was giving Shawn
Oh
Michaels in Canada. Like it was giving Shawn Michaels in Canada. Like
goodness, yeah. That's ooh boy, my God.
I was like, do my ears deceive me? It was way too intense. Way too intense.
I rocks with that. That's good. That's good. So that's a double feature, y'all. She couldn't give y'all one last week, so she made up for it this week by giving y'all two. 1, 2. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So Max Dupree, I just realized that's a double Max feature too. I see what you did
Oh
there.
yeah.
You know,
It was unintentional.
uh,
Oh,
double Max feature, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I get your bars are welcome. Thank you, thank you. That's what we do here. So my bots of the week is non-wrestling related on this week. Not gonna lie, my bots of the week is gonna go to none other than the individuals who thought for whatever reason they could double jump team a guy like Cam Newton. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. Okay, first off, just shame on our youthful generation right now. Because I mean, look,
Yeah.
dog, what has Cam ever done to anybody to make y'all want to just attack this man
Just
because you
wrong.
feel like it? Like, number one, all the man wants to do and tries to do and is bound to do is give back to the community. For this to happen in his own city at that, Atlanta,
Yeah.
bro.
It's
Come on,
unfortunate,
AT.
but
Y'all got to
there's
do
way too
better.
many cases. There's way too many cases of black
Yeah.
men being targeted in their own like hometowns, you know?
Yeah, and it's sad because I mean I saw like a video showing the perspective of the young men who did it, and they're giving their case, talking about, oh well, he was talking trash and he was doing something, this and that, trying to hear the other side of the story. And I'm like, bruh, no matter what you say, there's no excuse. Cam is Cam. first of all, he earned the right to be who he is and do what he does. The
Yeah.
man has been an MVP. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's done all of these things, and he still chooses to give back to the next up,
Yeah.
right? He didn't have like Stephen A said, he did not have to come back and do this. He did not have to.
Mhm.
So why do you take it upon yourself to disrespect this man? That man could have shut that down and been like, I'm not doing this ever again if he
Yeah.
wanted to, right? But even if
Mhm.
he did that, y'all probably just would have dogged him and been like, oh, he ain't about that life. He's scared. He don't care about us. So it's like
Yeah.
no matter which way you go, you defend yourself,
People
you
aren't
look like a
happy.
victim. You choose to not do it and you scared. You don't do stuff for your community. So man, y'all get botch of the week in my opinion because y'all if for that and to be more funny with it, y'all getting it because I don't know what the heck made you think as big as Cam Newton is. What made you think three or not? Did you not see the way this man drugged one by the hair, had one in a headlock, and threw the other?
He
Bruh,
does this for a living. He drags 300-pound dudes for a living. What were y'all?
bro, what were y'all seriously? Like, I hope and pray none of y'all if y'all tried that with a football player, please do not try that with a wrestler. Because that will be 10 times worse for your soul if you try that. Do
If a
not.
rude awakening. Rude awakening.
Never in your life do that to a pro wrestler because if you Cam could easily do that if he wanted to. I swear, big as that dude is, if he wanted to get in that professional wrestling life, he
Oh
could.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Man, he would give Seth a run for his money because the man's got style. Okay,
Yeah,
the
facts.
man's got the personality, and for crying out loud, this man literally has like all. Come on now,
All the
come on.
qualities, yeah, all the qualities for good sports entertainment.
Yeah, man. So real quick, y'all. That does it for our botch of the week segment. Hope you guys enjoyed those. We gave y'all three of them this week due to the double feature by Miss Ash Benny. So we'll have that separated in a clip as well, so y'all can check that out on the Life's a Botch YouTube. In case you don't get the time to watch the full show in its whole, we got the segments broken up for y'all. So that's the Botch of the Week presented by Life's a Botch. Now, real quick, because we do have a pay-per-view on this upcoming Saturday, AEW Revolution 2024, which is mainly centered around the man called Sting. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is his final match. Tonight is his final Dynamite. His final match will be this Saturday. It is a bit bittersweet,
Yeah.
many would say. But we're gonna go down the card really quickly. Now it doesn't appear that they have any pre-matches, pre-show matches listed
Yes.
as of yet. So, as like Gresh will do with me, as we made our predictions on last night, I will text you and get your individual predictions for any pre-show matches announced. But
Okay.
as of right now, we're just gonna quick speed run through the card, and I want to get your preview and predictions. I did give my own on Gresh Unleashed last night, but I will kind of reiterate for those of you who didn't get a chance to listen or don't get a chance to, all that good stuff. So, real
Yeah.
quick, here we go. So, we have a tag team match coming up. We've got FTR going 2-on-2 against the Blackpool Combat Club, which would be specifically John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. Who you
Yeah.
got taking the win in that match?
I'm gonna give it. This one's kind of hard.
I said the same thing.
This one's kind of hard. I kind of want to give it to FTR.
Mhm.
So I think I'm gonna
Okay.
give it. I think I'm gonna give it to FTR. I think I'm gonna give it to FTR.
Girl, we on the same wavelength because that's
Okay.
who I chose on last night too. I did not know how to call this, but I said FTR because I was just like, what else are they doing? I don't know. So
Yeah.
FTR. Okay, we
I
both
also
got
love
that.
like how Cash Wheeler wrestles. Like this is every single time is gonna be his last.
Good point.
Every
Good
time
point.
he wrestles like rent is due.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Next up, we got Wardlow. Oh boy, this is gonna be interesting. This is probably more for you ladies, as they mentioned, and you fans that love chanting meat. Pause. Um, meatless, meat madness match. Wow. I want to shoot whoever thought of this. I don't know if this is because it's March and it's March Madness. This is y'all alternate. What?
Meat
Yeah.
Madness is crazy. Meat Madness is crazy.
Pause. Well, I can't say pause for you. You're a woman. You can say that. So you're good. You're good. You can say it all you want. I'm not saying this anymore. Okay? Don't.
That is so funny. Meat
I'm
Madness
I'm
is
I'm I'm
nuts.
I'm an advocate when see I got my Meat Madness pause. I got mine last night with with Jada Parker and you know what I'm saying, Gigi. That was my version of it. Okay, I'm
That's my Meat
good.
Madness, yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. But this all Ash Lane. This ain't
Yeah.
me. Okay, so all right, we got Wardlow going against Powerhouse Hobbs against Lance Archer.
Ooh.
Who's taking this one?
I kind of want to say Powerhouse Hobbs just
Ooh.
because I feel like they've been kind of trying to book him as more they've been trying to find more things to do with him. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it would be like a nice swerve to have him win because I feel like Wardlow probably is the favorite to win this match.
True. I like that you went that way. So I was thinking that, but I ended up choosing Wardlow. But I did want to pick Powerhouse Hobbs because of that promo I saw him cut. And I was like, brother, if they don't push you, I swear. Because you
It
were,
feels like it's the good
man,
time. It's a good time to push him. So I
telling
feel
you.
like if they want to take a chance on it, they would do Powerhouse Hobbs.
Okay, I got you. So I got you down for Hobbs. I ended up choosing Wardlow. So you choosing for the both of us with that one.
Yeah.
I hope you're right, but
I hope
I
so.
picked Wardlow to be on the safe side. So we got that. All right, now I hate to keep putting you in corners like this, but here we goes another hard one to call. We got the debut, the official AEW debut of Will Ospreay, but he's taking on someone who's been booked very strongly and is also a fellow member of his Don Callis family member, Kenosuke Takeshita. So, sis, who's taking this dub?
Ooh. It's it's hard because they kind of like Takeshi kind of can't afford the loss, but it's Will Ospreay. like in his debut match. Like I gotta give it
Yeah.
to Will. I gotta give it to Will.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, you might go boo on this one, but I actually chose a draw because that's AEW is
Ooh.
known to do that. They can do stuff
Yeah,
like that.
it's smart. It's smart though because like both gentlemen kind of can't afford to lose this one. So it's kind of
Yeah.
a hard matchup.
Okay. So I got you down for Will Ospreay on that one, ladies and gentlemen. I chose draw, so yeah, just jot me down
Draws
for that.
it.
Here's another one that's kind of a torn one, but we got a championship match for the TNT Championship. The TNT champion Christian Cage going one-on-one with the rising and also popular Daniel Garcia. Ladies and gentlemen, Ash, I see you doing the dance too, so I know you rock with Daniel Garcia, but I know you love you some a-hole Christian Cage. So
Yeah.
where you going with this one?
Yeah. Can we also talk about the promo that they did on Wednesday when Cage doxed Daniel Garcia's mother, said her whole government and her address, and then proceeded to say that his father was dead? I was like, what was the reason?
Yeah,
What was the reason? Like, I feel like just based off that, like Garcia needs to win. Like Garcia
yeah,
needs to win, but
yeah.
I know that he's not. So
Ooh, okay.
this one is hard because my heart really wants to go with Daniel Garcia. I feel like I did. You know what? I'm gonna go with Daniel Garcia. He
Going
should
with the
win.
heart.
He should
Come
win.
on.
Yeah, he should win.
This
They've
isn't
been
going to change how you feel about him if he doesn't, though, right?
no, it's not.
Okay.
But I feel like it's gonna be like, what are we doing? It's time to have a conversation about what are we doing with Daniel Garcia because we put him in too many situations where he's lost. So I need
True.
I need something. I need something for him.
That's fair. I can accept that. I ended up choosing Christian Cage.
It's fair.
But I did also have the same heart sentiment. Like I would pop if Danny Garcia did do it. Some speculate. Again, you check out Gresh Unleashed Pod. We had an extra guest on there who also kind of gave his thoughts, and I believe Gresh and the guest Squints was his name. They said Edge plays a factor in this. I'm sorry, Adam plays a factor into this, but it's tough to call because I feel like he's more obsessed with Christian Cage and that title while taking it from him and all that. So,
that's why I feel like he's not gonna win because they still Adam has unfinished business with him as a belt holder, Christian. So it's hard, but I'm a lot of my choices are going with the heart on this one. So you know what, whatever.
I respect it. Whatever, no, I respect it. Speaking of going with the heart, that leads me to this next match. This is a perfect segue. Ladies and gentlemen, this match is a match that's all about respect, apparently. Now, I'm going to say what's so funny about this. It's funny this is about respect because these two already kind of went one-on-one, and the person that's trying to earn this person's respect already beat that person. So he should have earned it in that tournament. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Eddie Kingston, your reigning defending Continental Crown champion, going one-on-one with Bryan Danielson. And the championship is on the line, yes, but really what's on the line is Eddie Kingston earning the respect of Bryan Danielson. And apparently, in his words, he will shake Eddie Kingston's hand if he loses. So, Ash, who you got taking this?
Eddie. I want Eddie to win it. He's on a fantastic run right now. I feel like to have that, just so that we can put a bookend on it to say, like, for Bryan to be like, I respect you, Eddie. I get it now. You know, just to move on from that so that we can have some newer and fresher matchups. I'm game. I like Eddie as champion right now.
I do too. Sis, I gotta agree with you. I picked Eddie Kingston as well because again, he already shown that he could beat Daniel Bryan. I don't see why he wouldn't beat Daniel Bryan again.
Yeah.
It's weird to me because he's already beaten you, Daniel, so you should have already respected him, but I guess he's got to do it again. So, you know, it's cool.
When you're a legend, you can move the goalpost, I guess.
I guess so. It is what it is. All right, next up, we got the one we just talked about in Benny's Block a little earlier. I know you're excited about this. We got Timeless Toni Storm, the Timeless Toni Storm. Your reigning defending AEW Women's Champion going one-on-one with her former best friend, Deonna Purrazzo, the Virtuosa. So, sis, what's your final decision on this one?
Man, you know, I feel like it's almost predictable having Toni win, which is why I kind of feel like Deonna's return and her booking, she's been so protected. She's had like an amazing winning streak. I feel like it would almost be like a really, really cool swerve to have Deonna win and then have her hold the belt for when Mercedes comes. But I gotta go with Toni. I gotta go with Toni. I've done too many unpredictable picks. I gotta rein it in.
No, I respect it.
Toni, I think she has it locked in.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I too ended up picking Toni Storm, Timeless Toni Storm, to lock it in. But in a way that's a shenanigan-ish finish that keeps Deonna looking strong, and we'll see what happens from there. So next up, we got another title match. A lot of title matches on this card, but then again, they have a lot of titles, so surprise, surprise. Orange Cassidy, your reigning defending AEW International Champion, going one-on-one with the Kingdom, the Undisputed Kingdom Zone, Roddy Strong. So, Ash, does the Undisputed Kingdom finally get their first championship as the prophecy has been spoken?
I'm thinking so. I think they're gonna take it. I think they're gonna take it tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Roderick Strong.
Is it something you care to see though? Like, where have you been on Undisputed Kingdom? You sold on them? Is it still not doing it without
So
him hurt?
without him hurt, it's a big con. It hurts them a lot. But I feel like they've been trying their best to keep the storyline interesting. It's just so unfortunate with the way that things happen, especially since MJF is off TV. So it's like a lot of the motivations that were initially there are gone.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that Sunday will kind of turn a page. That'll make me be like, okay,
Okay.
looking
I
a little more
respect.
formidable. Got a win under their belt. Love it.
Love it. Okay. Well, I hate to say it, but I actually went the other way. I said Orange Cassidy retains, but this is the reason why I think he's gonna do it in not necessarily a screwy finish because he's the babyface here, but I feel like it'll be a way where he just escaped, and Roddy's like, "I had you,
Yeah.
and I want one more
Go at it.
crack at it," and he gets it and actually wins this time. And then
I
maybe
can
they
see
run it
that
back
too.
one final time to where Roddy gets the 2-1 or something.
Yeah.
But I think he just gets by and
Yeah.
catches the win on this. So I'm going Orange Cassidy, but
Okay.
I got you documented, sis. So we're gonna see
Okay.
what's up. Now this is where it's really gonna get challenging. We are in our co-main event now. All right. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, currently I have to do this prediction two ways for you because we're gonna find out tonight on Dynamite. You guys, this is pre-recorded, so by the time this is posted, we already know the answer. So just keep in mind, fair warning, when you listen to this, just know we're giving you a prediction for both scenarios in the event of what
Yes.
happens. What am I talking about? I'm talking about your AEW World Heavyweight Championship triple threat that may possibly turn into a one-on-one, dare I say,
Yeah.
unless they're inserting someone else to keep it a triple threat. But I doubt that because I don't know who else they would do unless it's Hook or somebody. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we have Samoa Joe, your reigning defending AEW World Champion, going on in theory so far against Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland in a triple threat
Yes.
match for the AEW Championship. Now, tell me your scenario if Adam Page addresses that he cannot compete and this turns into a one-on-one. Who do you have if it comes down to just Samoa Joe and Swerve? And if it's still a triple threat, who do you have taking it from this triple threat?
This is hard. This is probably the hardest one on the card
Mm-hmm.
because I almost was shocked that we got here so quickly. And I feel like the reason like how they got out of it was the triple threat, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if we get a one-on-one, it would be kind of crazy if Swerve didn't win, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would be kind of, but at the same time, it would be kind of nuts for like Samoa's second defense to lose the belt so soon. Because it's like, for me, like Samoa Joe's somebody like he's face of the company type, like he's brand on his back type. So it's like, I feel like to cut that run so short, it would kind of be like a waste.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. This one is actually really hard. This one is actually really hard. I feel like in kayfabe, like in booking terms,
Mm-hmm.
Swerve has to win if it's one-on-one.
Okay.
One-on-one, I kind of feel like if Swerve doesn't win, it's kind of like a culmination of everything that he's been working towards this past year kind of just falling flat. You know, like like the payoff, there wouldn't be a payoff essentially because we've watched his ascent, and to finally get that opportunity and to lose, I feel like it would just be so unfortunate. Triple threat though, I think Samoa Joe's gonna win because Hangman and Swerve hate each other so much. I feel like they might. It's kind of like a double negative. They're gonna cancel each other out in a lot of ways.
True. That
you know,
is
I feel
true.
like they're. I feel like they're gonna cause each other's own demise, like just the pure hatred and animosity. Like they're not really focused on what's the task at hand. So it's more so focused on doing the other end.
Fair. Very fair. How did I call this? Yeah, I actually said if it's one-on-one, I'm going with Swerve. if this is a triple threat, I too am going with Joe.
Yeah.
And I guess who would take the pin and or submission? Uh, it would likely be Hangman because I feel like they're gonna
Yeah.
protect Swerve at all costs, so
Yeah.
that if they run it back in a one-on-one scenario, Swerve gets his opportunity, right?
Yes.
So, um, yeah, that's kind of my prediction as well, sis. I know it's very hard to call it,
Yeah.
especially since we don't really know what's about to happen until tonight.
Yeah.
But keep it locked, y'all. So y'all got both versions, so that by Friday when this posts, and y'all know, you already know, like, okay, we got a triple
What our
threat
thoughts
still,
are.
or we got a
Yeah.
one-on-one. So y'all got our predictions either way.
Yeah.
So this is our final match, which will likely be the main event, of course, given what's going on. This is the man it's centered around. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the AEW Tag Team Championships on the line in what is and will be Sting's final match in
Yeah.
wrestling, period.
Yeah.
Um, Bittersweet, but at the same time, one to think about. So, Sting, up until this point, has basically been undefeated his entire AEW run. So, Ash, as they take on the Young Bucks,
The
aka
EVPs.
Matthew and Nicholas,
Nicholas.
right?
Our
Jackson,
EVPs.
aka
Yeah.
our EVPs, yes. Who takes this here? What how do you see this playing out?
I see Sting and Darby taking it. I feel like that's the reason why they chose the Young Bucks, because it wouldn't be that major of an upset if they were to lose or something along those lines. So I
Mhm.
feel like Sting's gonna leave on top.
You know, that's wild, sis, because I was thinking the same thing. See, we've been on the same wavelength because I said the same thing. And I believe Josh also said it, as uh did Squint say it? I think Squint said it as well. We all said Sting, so it looks like that's what we're all going for the same thing there. I think we all got Sting taking the victory, getting that graceful bow, and
Yeah.
then they vacate the AEW Tag Team Championships, to which, knowing Tony, will be in some kind of tournament. That
Tournament time. You know
tournament
that man loves
time.
him a tournament.
Who's
That
gonna be
man
the
loves him a
AEW?
tournament.
Yeah, who's gonna be your AEW Tag Team Champions?
Yeah.
Right.
One thing
So,
about Tony, he's gonna put together a tournament.
oh yes, most
For
definitely.
a 2-month long tournament.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that about does it on our prediction side of things. You know what I'm saying? NXT Roadblock, more than likely, we might do a bonus. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put it in this episode. We may do like a quick little short, and we'll kind of give some predictions on that, and then I'll just post that on the Life's a Botch YouTube / the TikTok and all that good stuff on Shorts, and let you guys see that, and we'll see who lined up and measured rightly on that. So
Yeah.
that pretty much does it for today's episode, man. We hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was a fun one for sure. Man, make sure, let's see, real quick, I just want to say on this end, it is going to be my final episode for a few weeks because International Women's Month is coming up. So your boy is going to bow out gracefully and let the ladies take range, which means my co-hostess with the mostest, the lovely Ash Benny, is going to be taking point. She will be leading the show with special guests, co-hostess, other women that will come in and give their intake. So fellas, if you're listening, hey man, I'm not gonna be repping the fellas. All right, it's gonna be all ladies for the next few weeks, but I will be back and I'll hold it down for us. You know what I'm saying? But I'm doing the gentleman thing, and I'm gracing out so that Ash can run this thing with elegance like she does for the ladies, and just
Ash
you
by
know
elegance.
come on now. Oh, hey, that wasn't by coincidence. Come on now. Come on now. That's why we got to get Ash by Elegance on this show one day, so
Right?
it can be a double Ash feature. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make that happen some kind of way. TNA, have our people
Come
call
through.
your peoples. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So just wanted to make that special announcement, man. You won't see your boy for the next few weeks. I am still gonna be here. I just won't be present on camera. I'll be more behind the scenes while the ladies do their thing and we let them run the show. Um, but keep it locked. Understand that March 27th we have a upcoming interview with the lovely Melissa Santos coming up. Look forward to speaking with her and sitting down with her about her time in Lucha Underground, as well as brief stint in TNA as well, on top of just what she's been doing post the time of Lucha Underground and TNA, how, and if she still keeps up with the business and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be a dope chat. March 27th, which means that episode will post that following Friday. So y'all just be on the lookout for that. We're working on some other interviews. Make sure you check out the Independent Spotlight. That is a sit down one on one. We're working on getting some lady independent wrestlers as well. Sorry, I'm having artist brain, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm in an artist brain right
Gotta
now. But
switch the hats. Yeah,
yeah, I gotta switch the hats. I'm in my hosting wrestling hat, so my artist hat was on for a second. But independent wrestlers, we're gonna have some sit downs. We're gonna set up some for Miss Ash Benny because again, this is Women's Month, so independent spotlight is going to be ladies all around. So that even means with the independent spotlight, we're going to have Ash take the reins on that, where she can sit down one on one with some independent lady talents and see who we can get on there for her to go ahead and just have a good girl conversation with and all that good stuff, man. So y'all keep it locked, check it out, check out previous episodes of the independent spotlight. You won't be disappointed. They're a lot shorter than these episodes that we do for the main show. A lot of times they're about 30 to 40 minutes, maybe tops. But you guys will definitely enjoy them. Show them some love as well. Um, Also, if you haven't already, man, we debuted. This was the last one for Black History Month. We got a lot more freestyles lined up, but your boy, Hi-Lite Real, and my boy Gresh, we tag team yet again with our infamous wrestling freestyles, and we just did one for the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, tag team specifically for us in the culture. Harlem Heat slash Booker T. We did a freestyle over their theme, man, and it's already getting traction and a lot of love. And even Stevie Ray himself, man, shout out to
That's
Stevie
dope.
Ray. He messaged us and he enjoyed the freestyle as well, man. We're gonna see if we can get the legend and the OG on the show in the future as well. So if we can get Mr. Stevie Ray on here as well, hey man, y'all keep it locked. You just never know. We might have a Harlem Heat resident right here coming for you, sucker. You know what I'm saying? You just never
Yeah.
know. But in the meantime, thank y'all so much. Make sure you follow before we even give our individual follows. Make sure you follow all things Life's a Botch underscore OTS. That's on TikTok. Shout out to y'all who showing us love and traction on TikTok. That's on Instagram. Shout out to all of y'all who react with us on Instagram and the stories and all that good stuff. YouTube, right here, Life's a Botch. Make sure you follow all that for the shorts and the segment clips. And most importantly, make sure you follow our platform behind this platform that uplifts this platform to be what it is. And I'm talking none other than OTS Media Co. Shout out to OTS Media Co. Shout out to Realish and Fans, which is making its return. Shout out to so many dope shows that is under this very brand, including Life's a Botch. Without that, we do not exist. So thank you, OTS Media Co., for everything that you do for us. Make sure you give them a follow, subscribe, hit the like notification bell, show love on all the videos, haters included,
Yeah.
as we just mentioned earlier. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? We appreciate every comment, every like, all of it.
Mhm.
But before we get out of here, Ash, anything you want to update the people on, anything you got coming up, and where can they find and follow you?
Yep. So I'm still working on getting the Discord off the ground. I'm trying to post a link on Twitter this week. So I'm trying to
Okay.
have some people. I'm turning it more into a group project. So just
Hey,
because we gotta find more ways to get people onto the Discord itself in order to have the NXT watch party. So that's coming up, of course. And then you can follow me on all social media platforms on at Ash Benny.
Hey, all right. That's what I'm talking about, Miss Ash Benny. Well, you know what it is, man. Follow your boy, all things Highlight Life, HILITE Life. Again, I already said it. Y'all already know to follow Life's a Botch, all things Life's a Botch underscore OTS. Run up, man. Show that freestyle some more love, man. I see my notifications going crazy for some reason. So shout out to y'all who's reacting to my freestyle. My other freestyle from the other day on top of the Harlem Heat stuff. So again, man, it's crazy for your boy as an artist right now, and I'm thankful for all of y'all who show me love and support. But most importantly, thank y'all who showed this very show some love and support because I want the show to keep going up, and we going up thanks to y'all. You know what I'm saying? So keep it locked with your favorite duo. Shout out to our boy Playboy Rick, man. You know he's still a part of the crew. I know some of y'all miss him, man. It's been hard with schedules, but you know we love him, and he'll be on when we can get him on. But in the meantime, me and Ash holding it down. We're doing our thing. Shout out to all the ladies that's gonna be holding it down with Ash Benny on next week and the next few weeks in general. And as y'all know, it's that time. I need everybody real quick where you at. Pull out them two sweet songs with me and give one good old too sweet. Peace, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, same time, same place. Life's a Botch, and we out.